Farming Simulator 22. We're going to have another look at precision farming today, and in particular the crop scanner. I have been pretty negative about this in some of my recent videos, so I decided to actually do some proper testing and see what kind of benefit it really has. Now I think I understand better how it works. So we have a field of wheat here. It has perfect nitrogen and perfect lime. The perfect nitrogen has been applied with a seeder which did fertilizing, and in theory it's perfect. You will notice that the map only shows nitrogen in units of 20, and looking in the data I found out that actually the game goes down to units of 5 kilograms of nitrogen per hectare. So that was one of the things that inspired me to have a look at this in more detail. So I'm going to use Courseplay to harvest this with the 2x9s because it will be quicker than me doing it on my own, and I can be consistent. I have saved the course so I can then reload it when we come back and do this test a second time. So what we're going to do is I have the game saved at the point where the crop is still green. I have a second copy of the save so we can go back in time, and what I'm going to do is harvest this, get a baseline amount of yield off of here, then reload the game, and we're going to harvest it again, having done an additional fertilization using liquid fertilizer and the crop scanner. So we're going to see if we can make the fertilization more perfect. Yeah, I don't know. One of the things that frustrates me sometimes about this game is, the game's telling me I have perfect fertilization, but I can make it more perfect. So we'll see how that works out. But we're just finishing up the first harvest. The first combine is empty, just emptying or finishing off the second one, and we'll get that emptied. And I have got one of the walkabout mother bins to put all of the crop off of this harvest in, and then what I'll do is I'll transfer that in the XML into the other save so that we've got both. It just makes it easier for doing the comparison of the results at the end. So let's go tip this into the mother bin. I've never used these mother bins. They're kind of cool. So this one holds, I think, 211,000 litres, so yeah. It was useful for doing this test because it meant we could keep all of the crop, and then I move it in the XML file into the other save, which is stored at an earlier point. Let's see how much we got off of here from our first harvest. So precision farming says 126,950 litres. And what does the game say? Because I was also interested in checking how well they match. It says 126,950 litres. Cool. Let's get the game reloaded, and we'll apply some liquid fertilizer. So yeah, got the little John Deere 6M here. Going to use Courseplay to do this because it's kind of hard to see where you've been. Make sure you activate the crop scanner on the front. So this crop scanner, the active one that goes on the 3-point, has a working width of 26 meters. So you want to keep your sprayer under 26 meters. I'm using an 18 meter one. I'm just turning off. I had it set to buy fertilizer because it made it easier for the planting, but I actually want to see how much liquid fertilizer we use. So yeah, the active one has a working width of 26 meters. I'm not sure what the passive ones have. Obviously it'll be a function of how wide the placement is on the tractor, but I couldn't find in the XML the working width of each sensor. So yeah, I would assume it's no more than it is for this setup, but it may be more or less. It's why I'm using the 3.1, because I know the width. And you'll see in the top left hand corner we're applying between 25 to 38 litres per hectare, and down in the 5 to 15 kilograms of nitrogen range. So it does suggest that we are getting a little bit more on, and hopefully we will get a little bit more yield off of here. So I'm just going to let this finish off, and I'll be back with you when we get into the harvesting. In fact, pretty much done. So we used, I think, about 200 litres. There's 1,611 litres in there, and there was that little bit at the start where we had it set to buy fertilizer. So I'm going to call it 200 litres used, which is worth about £320. So yeah, not a lot of liquid fertilizer to possibly get more crop off of the field. So the combines are running on the same course, so any little missed bits or anything should be the same. There's some variability in farm sim, but this was the best I think I could do to get some consistency. I have crop destruction turned off, so if you see me driving the tractor in the crop, it doesn't matter. Or if, yeah, whatever. So pretty much done with the harvest. These X9 do get through things fairly quickly. I'm just going to throw it in while this is finishing itself off. If you enjoy this video, hit the like button and leave me a comment. If you don't enjoy the video, hit the dislike button. And if you're new to the channel and you like this kind of thing, then think about subscribing, because it really helps me out. Yeah, just finishing up the last couple of rows here. I'll go into the results in a bit more detail later on. Something to consider with this is you do need to have the crop in a fairly mature state. So I am not 100% sure, but you want to be in the last of the 2 green states. I think kind of the later you apply this, the better. So I waited until it was the last green state before I applied it. The idea is that you plant it. The guidance from Giants is, your crops have grown through the winter, they're in a mature state, and you then apply a last layer of fertilization. So yeah, definitely the last state. I think it works in the last 2 green states. So just finishing up with the combine now, and we'll go and see how much we've got. First combine is empty, that one's empty too. So let's see how much more we got, and therefore how much more money we're going to make. Just tip this in. So just as a reminder, we got 126,950 litres off of the first harvest, where we didn't apply the extra liquid nitrogen using the crop scanner. And we got 128,301 litres, so an extra 1,351 litres, or about 1%. Is 1.06% increase, and that's worth about £1,000 extra with the wheat that we did, and we spent about 320 on fertilizer. And if you were doing a crop like wheat, oats or barley, you'd also get an extra 5,000 litres of straw roughly. So yeah, I guess it's up to you. You're going to get about a 1% yield increase. It's not going to cost you a lot, so if you don't do it, you're not losing out. If you do it, you gain a little bit, which is kind of how a lot of these things work. And some of these little bonuses will stack up over time and get you quite a bit more. So yeah, hope you found this useful. Catch you next time.